Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Parker. This is Kevin. We're with Canmore Area Living and Remax Alpine Realty. In today's video, we're going to go over a 2022 market recap. Let's get into it. All right, so looking at units sold, 2022 compared to 2021, year over year, we're looking at a decrease of 42.18%. So what that tells us is we've had very little sales this year compared to last year. Transitioning into December 2022, total of 31 sales compared to December 2021 of 99 sales. That's down 68.69%, just looking at the months of December.
So average days on market, you can see there we have a positive 15%. Now, the reason it's positive is because in 2021 it took 42 days to sell a property, and in 2022 it only took 36. So that is actually a positive because it is quicker. Now you can see in December, in 2021 it only took 31 days to sell, and in 2022 it took 53 days to sell, which is down 70%. Now, that could be alarming for some people. What we feel is that because interest rates bumped, typically December is a little bit of a slower month. I know we're looking at December, so December 2021 was really good. We did find that a good year coming out of COVID. A few factors. One would be interest rates have changed over the last year, and I think that is kind of been alarming for people, and I think buyers are they're just more selective on what they're purchasing and how long. Now 53 days is still a quite a good number for days on the market.
Moving into average sold to ask ratio, the key numbers here are going to be highlighted in the red and on the right in the green. Looking at December, in 2022, compared to 2021, we saw a decrease of 4.78%. And then looking back to December in 2020, compared to 2022, we saw a decrease of 1.71%. So what that tells us is that, we're still, although we're down, almost 5% from last year, it's encouraging as a seller to see that, we're still achieving 97.8% of asking prices. And if you look at the last 5 Decembers, that 97.8% is kind of right on par with what we saw in 2018 and 2019 and fairly close to 2020. So 2021 was an exceptional year when looking at that specific data. Moving into year to date, we're down 0.5% from 2021, and we're actually up 1.5% from 2020. Again, looking at the last 5 years of this data, we can see that 99.92%, so almost 100% of asking price is still increasing on average compared to the last kind of 4 years. So a very positive sign for sellers, investors, or anybody looking to buy or currently have property in the market that we're still seeing very good value.
And I think one thing is important to note here is 2021 was a year where we saw a lot of multiple offers, which can be good for the seller, but not necessarily good for the buyer. So from a buyer's perspective, being that we're not over 100% of ask price, it is allowing buyers to not necessarily be selective, but be more educated on the product that they're buying, whether it's getting an inspection or, having a financing condition, or even having a place to sell and having a sale of buyer's home condition in there. So those are not necessarily as positive for the sellers, but from a buyer's perspective, it's a great time to look at purchasing a product where you don't have to pay more than what the fair market value is showing. So I believe that it's both kind of a mixture of buy and sell market right now. So we'll move into average sold price. So if you look back the last 1 year, we're 36% up from 2021 to 2022. That's in December. In our last 2 years, we're up over 48%. What is really encouraging is prices seem to the sale price seems to continue to appreciate in Canmore, and that's encouraging for sellers and also for buyers, knowing that they are purchasing a product that over time will appreciate, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the presentation. So year to date, over the last year, 2022 to 2021, we're up over 17%. The last 2 years, we're up over 28%. So again, you can see the 5-year trend year to date, near 700,000 to over 950,000 average sale price.
Transitioning into average selling price of units sold. This graph here is a snapshot of the last 12 years, well, actually the last 13 years. A couple key points that we found from this graph. 4.87% is our average growth per year from 2010 to 2022. That's very encouraging to see, year over year, we're appreciating at that percentage.
I think that, if you look at it from 2010, average sale price to 2022, we've seen a 63.26% increase. Again, going back to what we were talking about from a buyer's perspective, obviously sellers like that the prices are high, but from a buyer's perspective, you can see the historic growth of property and appreciation. So knowing that you're getting into a market that will grow, and part of the reason that it will is, the town of Canmore, we don't have a lot of land here for new developments. So moving forward, when you have less land, property, and being that we're a destination place, property tends to increase. So
yeah, and then looking back at the last 6 years specifically, obviously this graph highlights some significant historic data, but over the last 6 years, we've really seen that average selling price of units sold increase. So it just kind of goes to show you that Canmore is really starting to get on the map. Obviously, we know it's been a growing destination for a long time, but looking at the last 6 years, even the last 3-4 years, we're growing significantly, which is super positive for anybody looking to get in or currently in this market.
So there's a lot of graphs and data there. Whether you're an investor in the short-term market or in the residential market, things may be a little bit different. If you'd like to have some more specific information, whether you're a buyer or a seller, we'd be glad to help. In 2023, we predict the market to be fairly stable based on the historic data. So again, whether you're a buyer or a seller, let us know how we can help, and we'd love to give you some more data.
Great point. If you're a buyer, seller, or an investor, we'd love to help out. Our information is here. Stay tuned for our January market update. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, it really helps the channel grow and get this information to people who can benefit from it. See you next time.